Welcome to the SCP Foundation Classified Briefing. Today's subject, SCP-4666, the Yule Man. Before we proceed, please like and subscribe to this channel for further essential updates. SCP-4666 is classified as a Keter-class entity, primarily active during the Northern Hemisphere's winter solstice period. Its existence was initially posited through a comprehensive analysis of various folklore traditions and unsubstantiated reports of anomalous gift-giving and disappearances, predominantly involving children aged 8 or younger. Our initial containment efforts focused on establishing a global surveillance network to predict and mitigate its cyclical manifestations. The anomaly manifests primarily within residences in isolated, rural areas. It is observed to enter homes undetected, consuming provisions, and leaving behind crudely fabricated, often disturbing, handmade gifts. These events frequently precede the disappearance of one or more children from the affected household, leaving no trace. Your understanding of its operational patterns is paramount to protecting vulnerable populations. You must internalize these protocols to prevent further casualties. The operational window for SCP-4666 extends significantly during what we term the 12 Nights of Terror, commencing on December 21st and concluding on January 1st. During this heightened period, the anomaly's manifestation rate increases exponentially, often targeting multiple residences within a localized region rather than single, isolated incidents. Surveillance indicates a pattern of escalation. Initial visits may involve only the consumption of food and the placement of benign, albeit unusual, objects. However, as the 12 nights progress, the gifts become increasingly grotesque and macabre, directly correlated with the subsequent disappearance of children. Our primary operational parameter during this phase is aggressive preemptive evacuation of identified high-risk households. You must understand that direct engagement with SCP-4666 remains unfeasible due to its elusive nature and unknown physical properties. The safety of Foundation personnel and potential victims relies entirely on your strict adherence to these preemptive protocols. Failure to act decisively during this critical window will result in preventable casualties. Maintain absolute vigilance during these 12 nights. The initial definitive identification of SCP-4666's modus operandi stems directly from the Weaver family incident in rural Alberta in 1998. This event, occurring during the latter half of the 12 Nights of Terror, provided the first undeniable evidence of the anomaly's direct involvement in child disappearances. Upon Foundation arrival, the residents exhibited clear signs of SCP-4666's presence, consumed food, and a series of increasingly disturbing handmade items. These included effigies crafted from animal bones, stitched human hair, and what was later confirmed to be preserved human tissue. Crucially, the youngest Weaver child, an 8-year-old female, was absent without any forced entry or struggle. The older children reported prior visits from an unknown entity leaving trinkets. This incident established the critical link between the gifts and the eventual abduction, forming the basis for our current predictive models and necessitating immediate intervention upon discovery of such objects. You must recognize these artifacts as direct precursors to imminent danger and act accordingly. The Weaver family incident and subsequent investigations directly inform the implementation of our global surveillance network, designated Project Yule-SCAN. This system continuously monitors remote, sparsely populated cold climate regions, primarily rural Northern Europe, Siberia, Canada, and Alaska, which analysis indicated as SCP-4666's preferred operational environment. Our data scientists identified critical pattern precursors, unexplained decreases in local wildlife populations, unusual cold snaps, and, most importantly, isolated reports of strange objects appearing in homes. These gifts invariably progress in disturbing complexity, from carved wood figures to items composed of biological materials, signaling the anomaly's escalating interest in a target household. Understanding these patterns allows us to predict the anomaly's next moves with increasing accuracy, providing vital response time for preemptive evacuations. You must understand that recognizing these subtle indicators is paramount. Every missed report is a potential child lost to the anomaly. Your meticulous observation of these environmental and domestic cues is non-negotiable. Incident Report 4666A, known internally as the Smithfield Massacre, stands as a chilling testament to SCP-4666's lethality beyond its primary objective. In December 2003, a family of 4 in rural Alaska was found deceased within their residence. The youngest child, a 6-year-old male, was, as expected, missing. However, the parents and an older sibling exhibited extreme trauma consistent with blunt force and incisive weapon injuries. Forensics confirmed the perpetrator was a single entity of immense physical strength. Prior to the incident, Project Yule scan had flagged the Smithfield household for escalating gift appearances, including artifacts fashioned from bone and hide, indicating the anomaly's presence was nearing its culmination. This event irrevocably altered our risk assessment, demonstrating that failure to intercept SCP-4666 allows it to become indiscriminately violent. It is imperative that you recognize the gifts as a direct countdown to potential massacre, not just abduction. Your preemptive actions directly mitigate such catastrophic outcomes. The testimony of Emily Chen, then 8 years old, provides invaluable, albeit disturbing, insight into SCP-4666's direct interactions. Her family was targeted in December 2011 near Fairbanks, Alaska. Project Yule Scan's early warning allowed Mobile Task Force Theta 90, Cold Comfort, to intervene during the anomaly's final approach. Emily was discovered hiding beneath a bed, experiencing severe acute stress reaction. Her account, pieced together through extensive therapy, consistently describes a tall, gaunt figure, dressed in rags and furs, with eyes like cold coals, moving silently through their home. She recalled the entity handling a handmade doll she received, crafted from what she later identified as pet fur, before it seemingly became aware of the approaching MTF. The psychological scarring is profound, illustrating that even near misses leave indelible marks. You must comprehend that direct confrontation, while sometimes necessary, inflicts severe trauma on all exposed individuals. Prioritize extraction to minimize direct exposure whenever possible. Initial attempts to directly engage SCP-4666 within its suspected workshops or processing sites following patterns of abductions proved largely ineffective and costly. Operation Northern Light, a series of targeted incursions between 2005 and 2012, consistently encountered extreme environmental hazards and the anomaly's preternatural ability to evade detection. Teams often located recently vacated makeshift structures containing disturbing artifacts of organic and inorganic origin, consistent with its gift, production, but never SCP-4666 itself. One raid in 2009 resulted in the loss of 3 MTF personnel, not directly to the anomaly, but to severe hypothermia and disorientation induced by anomalous weather patterns believed to be associated with its localized presence. These operations underscored the futility of direct assault within its operational territory and highlighted the grave risks involved. You must understand that direct confrontation on its terms is a resource-intensive gambit with minimal success rates. Our strategy shifted to preemptive interception for a reason. Do not deviate from that. Direct intervention in its suspected domain must be considered a last resort, as the environment itself can be weaponized against you. Recovery personnel, particularly those involved in post-incident cleanup and victim extraction following SCP-4666 events, are subject to mandatory, rigorous psychological evaluation. The nature of the anomalies, gifts, often containing human remains, animal components, or a combination thereof, presented in a childlike manner, consistently induces severe psychological distress. Foundation psychiatrists report high incidences of PTSD, moral injury, and acute dissociative episodes among first responders. Personnel frequently struggle with the cognitive dissonance of encountering such horrific artifacts, particularly when associated with the victims, apparent joy or acceptance, as observed in some instances. The emotional toll of processing these scenes and interacting with surviving, traumatized children is immense. You must be prepared for this reality. Adherence to post-mission debriefing protocols and seeking immediate psychological support are not optional. They are critical for maintaining operational integrity and your personal well-being. Failure to report psychological distress poses a risk not only to you, but to your entire team. The anomalies selection process, termed the gift protocol, is predicated on a twisted interpretation of familial, good behavior observed throughout the year. Data analysis suggests it favors isolated families with young children in colder, northern climates, exhibiting a superficial adherence to traditional festive customs. Initially, SCP-4666 observes these families, its presence manifesting subtly as unexplained sounds or peripheral sightings. If deemed worthy by its unknown criteria, the family receives preliminary gifts, often handmade toys or trinkets, crudely fashioned but outwardly innocuous. These gifts escalate in complexity and disturbing components with each subsequent Yule period. The culminating phase involves the abduction of the eldest child, typically between 8 and 14 years old, during the winter solstice, to be processed into its more horrific creations. Understanding these precursor events is paramount. Early detection of any anomalous gift is your only opportunity for intervention. Never dismiss unusual occurrences during the winter months, however minor they may appear, as simple pranks or coincidences. The nature of SCP-4666 presents an inherent impossibility for traditional containment. It is an unlocalized, recurring, existential threat that cannot be apprehended or neutralized by current Foundation capabilities. Its annual appearance, and predictable, yet geographically varied, targeting during the Yule period necessitates a perpetual state of vigilance rather than a static containment procedure. The anomaly's threat is not merely physical, culminating in abduction and grotesque transformation, but profoundly psychological, eroding normalcy and instilling dread. Our primary objective is therefore proactive monitoring, rapid response to gift protocol indicators, and the meticulous application of recovery and amnestic protocols to minimize its devastating impact on civilian populations and maintain the veil. This is not a threat we can cage, but one we must perpetually manage. Your commitment to these directives is crucial, as the anomaly's continued existence relies on our constant, unwavering dedication to limit its influence and protect humanity from its horrifying benevolence. This concludes your classified briefing on SCP-4666, the Yule Man. Stay vigilant, Foundation personnel. Dismissed.